just for your sexual desires and pleasures. I'm going to hell anyway. I'm going there. I'm going to die. I'm destroyed. And that's what these people believe in. We are destroyed. We are animals in our approach, in our life. Let us destroy these pure people. Let us entice these people. The latest study of Mossad, of sending their spies into this country, is what? Women who have been trained to sleep with Muslims. Trained that they are willing to sleep with people to gain information from them. This is what their intelligence breeds them to do. And they talk about dignity. They want to teach us how to look after our women when they're training their women to behave in such a manner, and they feel no shame. So here we find the danger of what these people are trying to display in front of us. And we find that the punishment is clearly visible inside the Quran and the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is, if the word is acceptable, a dog's death, to be stoned to death. انظر إلى هذا رجم مثل الكلب. Look at this one who's been stoned to death like a dog. This is the punishment of the person who commits a zina, to be stoned. Because we live in such a Western society like this, and even amongst the Muslim lands, that this type of behavior becomes normal. It becomes a normal practice to be indulging in such an affair. It's not seen as a big taboo. And when people do talk about this, what do they state? The verses of the Quran. أخرجوا آل لوط من قريتكم إنهم أناس يتطهرون. Get rid of the people of Lut. There are people who want to be purified. So when people call to the da'wah of purity, they say, get rid of these people. Even in the Arab lands, get rid of these people who call towards unity, who call towards purification, who call towards marriage, who call towards to avoid these sexual conduct and this behavior, the removal of prostitution in the Muslim land, the removal of drugs, and the removal of alcohol and liquor. To remove this, they say, no, remove those people. Remove them, not them. We want to enjoy this. These are the good things of this dunya. الدنيا متاع وخير متاعها المرأة الصالحة. The whole of this dunya is a provision, and the best provision is mar'atu salihah, is a good wife. That is the best thing that you can take in this dunya, to be with you. A woman who would aid you in your deen, aid you in your dunya, aid you in every single thing that you do in your life. And that's why you find that many of the ulama that they wrote, and many of these people themselves they write, behind every great man is a great woman. And let no one be mistaken by that statement. Even amongst the Anbiya, alayhimus salam, behind them was great women. Especially if you look at Musa alayhi salam, that you find his mother, you find his sister, you find his wife, and you find the wife of Fir'aun. 4 women behind him, forever encouraging him on, giving him advice and telling him what to do and to behave in a correct manner and to remain steadfast upon the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why we find that this contract which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned inside Surah An-Nisa, مِيثَاقًا غَلِيظًا, a strong covenant. There is many covenants that we carry out in our life. The contracts of work, the contracts of construction, the contracts of even business become relaxed if you know the other person. But this contract is مِيثَاقًا غَلِيظًا. It's the strongest covenant that you will ever take in your life. It is not like buying a pair of shoes, you take them back to next and you change them. You go back to JD Sports and say, I don't like them. That's not what marriage is. Alf marra, 1,000 times you should think about what you're doing. Even more than 1,000 times. To think about it. That are you mentally capable? Are you physically capable? Have you got the wealth to do what you're doing? Are you following your emotions and your desires? Are you just looking at the looks? What are you going for? What is your intention? What do you aim to achieve? What do you want to do? This is the basis and the essence. And that's why we find fi hukm al-ziwaj, in the rulings of marriage, that at times it becomes fard for you to get married. When does it become an obligation for you to get married? Possibly living in a country like this, that if you fear that you will fall into sin, and you know for a fact that you will commit zina, then it is an obligation for you to get married, and to seek the means to get married. And likewise the opposite has been written. When is it haram for you to get married? If you know you're going to be an oppressive person, you're going to kill her, or harm her, or torture her, then it becomes forbidden for you. Or you don't have the ability to, and the doctors have proven you don't have the ability to indulge in this type of behavior of relationship. And then when does it become just permissible? Even though the sunnah is to get married, but sometimes it can be delayed. That if a person is indulged in studies or transactions or traveling, and for some specific purpose it's delayed. But however, we find living in this country whereby this nudity is forever on the increase. The billboards, the media, the satellite, the newspapers, everything is based upon women. This ghariza and nafsiyya, this feeling that a man has, this tension has to be released. So the only way is through az-zawaj. That seminars like this have to be open, to set up organizations and people to make these transactions of facilitating it for people to get married. That we are taught the way that we need to behave. Our parents are taught about the problems that we are facing and what steps need to be taken. And the masjid should be open as a community to deal and to rectify the problems that we face.